This is the Squint Gaming, and you're watching Squintorials.
3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Squintorials video here on the Squint Gaming channel. I am the Squint Gaming, your host today for the tutorial, and today we are going to be getting into more in depth into Streamlabs and some of the various widgets and all that kind of stuff that allows you to kind of grow your channel and just kind of pop more interactivity with your subscribers and your followers and stuff. So we're going to jump right into it. We're going to hop over into the dashboard online real quick, and then we will get into the desktop, and we'll kind of be going back and forth between the two, okay? So here we have the my dashboard up right now for Streamlabs online. So you can follow along, or you can watch the video and come back and rewatch it when you're going through doing your own thing. So I'm going to cover. We covered this in the last video. I'm going to start with the essentials, and we're going to just kind of cover all this stuff here, and I will also be covering a little bit more in depth the tipping and some of the stuff. So we're going to skip that going down along this way, but then we'll get into that last. Okay, so first off, we're just going to hit the alert box. So this is where you will be able to basically put in all of your various alerts. Okay, so we're going to go. It's your general settings. Okay, you can change the layout how you want it to be. So if you have an image or a GIF, you would select any one of these, and then just basically if you want your text to be below it, over the top of it, or next to it. Okay, so those three settings, super easy. You can set a moderation, a delay, basically what Streamlabs will moderate for there to be a delay from the time when somebody types into the chat, say like redeem scared, and you have like a scared, excuse me, an image of a scary person, or somebody being scared, what have you. This setup right here will show up, and your moderation delay, whatever you set it at, will take that amount of time, seconds, from the time that they put it in to the time that it actually appears on the screen. Now, keep in mind there is also a delay from your stream to like YouTube or Twitch. So it's typically like 2 to 3 seconds, depending on how good or bad your internet connection is. And I will cover a tiny bit on the YouTube side when it comes to the live, your going live aspect, and how to kind of reduce that delay or that latency. Now, when you create your alerts, you have your general settings, but then you will have the ability to kind of customize each one. So your donations, new subscribers, members, super chats, merch, and CloudBot. Okay, and just above that, you can test. So if you create something and you want to make sure that it's working, you simply go up and test it. And I'll get to that once we get to the desktop portion, so that I can show you how that works. But basically, so you have a text-to-speech, so it'll come up with, the message or whatever. So right here, the format, this is all inputted automatically, okay? So you don't have to go in and try to figure out, how do I type this out for it to read properly? It's already there for you. It's created for you. You don't really want to mess with that unless you absolutely know what you're doing. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You might get the alert, but you're not going to get the actual voice that says so-and-so just donated so much, amount. So now right down here, so your text animations, you could choose if you want it to do like a wiggle, or go through and just check each one. You can see what you like, what you don't like, and you can do that by testing them. So you can click on one, save it, and then go up to your test, and have your Streamlabs pulled up, your desktop pulled up, one of your scenes, make sure it has the alert box in it, and you can test it, and it'll pop up on your screen, inside your Streamlabs desktop, so you can see how it looks. And again, you can just test them, change it, test it, change it, test it till your heart's content, and you see what you like. For the image, you can go through, you can use GIFs, you can use images, and put that in for specifically whatever you want. So like for me, for donations, I have Donald Trump clapping his hands, and I also have a voice clip of him saying, "Thank you very much. That's really nice. Thank you." And I will preview that here in a little bit once we get over to the desktop version. Your volume, so you can make it however loud or quiet you want it. Obviously, you don't want it to be too loud because you're not necessarily going to know when somebody's doing it. So if you're in the middle of saying something during your live stream and then your alert comes up and it like overpowers what you're saying, that you don't want that. So I have mine at about 50%, and I've never had any issues with it being that much. Sometimes, depending on how loud you have it, it might scare you. And for some of them, that's kind of the point. I do have one that's panic. It's a little bit louder than all the rest, and the purpose is to kind of scare me to get a reaction out of my streamers. I'm sorry, my subs. And then, so yeah, you can adjust the volume based off how you want it. And I'll jump back up here real quick. So the minimum amount to alert to, I have mine set to 0. So it doesn't matter if somebody donates 15 cents or $15. There is no minimum amount that is going to come up on the alert. Any donation that I have, I want, to have that appreciation. I want to, announce that somebody made that donation. Okay. So you can set that to whatever you want. If you, don't want anything to announce under $15, then you can set that. That's your choice. I personally just have mine set at 0 so that every donation comes through, every donation is, show that's appreciated, and it's aired to everybody else that's currently on the stream. All right, getting down further, enable custom HTML, CSS. Again, unless you are completely, into like the coding and stuff like that, just leave that disabled. There's no reason to have that, enabled. Again, like I said, unless you're good at coding and you want to do some funky stuff, more in depth and in detail, you can enable that and, work on that. But for your basic users, just leave that disabled. You don't need to mess with that. Okay, so then you have 3 boxes down here. You have your tip message settings, and this is just your font. Okay, your size, the minimum amount to show, weight, color, all that. So it's basically just all your font stuff. What you want to do with that, you can mess with that how you want. Your font settings, again, this is basically the same thing. Okay, you can adjust those as you wish. Your text color, highlight color, all that. Font weight, font size. Mess around with those. Test them out. See where they're at and how you want it. All right. And then variations. You can add variations for your alerts based off of the size of the donation. So if you have, say, a $15 donation, you can have something set for that. And then if you have like a $50 donation or more, you can have a different setting for that. So maybe it's bigger or louder, or lasts a little bit longer to show your appreciation for that larger donation. Again, all up to you. Mess with that how you want. And then always, anytime you adjust anything, make sure that you hit save settings. I didn't mess with anything, so I'm not going to save it. We're just going to move on over here. So next up is going to be subscribers. Okay, again, you have the same things. Okay, subscriber alerts, enabled or disabled. Make sure it's enabled. Okay, if you want them to be. Again, same stuff here. You can choose to do a fade in, fade out for your alert animation. So it'll fade in on your screen and then fade out, and it's not just going to pop out. Or you can change it to where it's not. You can do a fade in, left, right, up, down. You can do a zoom, bounce. You can check all these different ones out. There's a whole bunch of different variations in here for what you can do. So you can go through all those and test those out. And again, just make sure you save everything once you're done. Your excuse me, logo. Mine's giving a kind of a warning. The video might, or the image might have moved. I might have moved it by accident. So I'll have to go in and fix that. But I give a welcome sound, or the sound that I have for that. It's a welcome. You can adjust that how you want to. So you just go in and load them up, and we'll get into that here in a few minutes. Alert duration, you can set that. Again, same thing. the CSS, enable, disable. Just leave it disabled if you're not fully aware of how to use all that. Font settings again, and the variations. So you can randomize for the welcome if you have a couple different welcome things that you sounds or images that you want to use. It'll randomize it for you so that you can always have something new. A new subscriber comes in. One subscriber is going to get a different welcome than the next. Up to you how you want to do it. And again, save your settings when you're done. Next up, members. Now, if you're just starting out, like with YouTube specifically, YouTube has a minimum requirement in order to be monetized, okay? And until you hit that number, you are not able to be monetized, which will preclude you from being able to have members, okay? Members or memberships are paid through YouTube, and you can adjust all the perks and everything of how you want based off of your membership, your different membership levels, your pay levels, and all that. I'm not going to get into that right now because this is more of a basic part 2 to the basic use of Streamlabs. Okay, just getting all the stuff set up. Super chats also go along with the memberships. Until you are monetized, you will not have access to super chats. Okay, these are donations directly through the chat in YouTube. And you can, once you get to that point to where you are monetized, you can go ahead and go through and set all these up. And again, it's all the same thing. Okay. There are all of these. It's just different things, setting up super chat versus setting up donation or setting up subscribers. Okay. Again, save your settings when you're done. Again, if you are at that monetization point, feel free to set this up. But most of you watching this video are probably not monetized. So you will not have to worry about either of these two. Merch. So you have the option to create a merch store, a store with merch that you want to sell. You have the option to do that right here through Streamlabs, which I will create a video for that another day. But right here, you have a merch store. You do not require any level of monetization through YouTube. It's completely separate. They have a really good store. I have one set up. But you also have the option of going over to Teespring, and you can set up a store there, and you can link your purchases for your store. However, with Teespring, I do not believe you can link your Teespring account for purchases. I believe it's only through the merch store with Streamlabs that links to it. Okay. But if you do link up your merch store or set up a merch store through Streamlabs, and get that linked up, anytime somebody purchases something, you will get a notification or an alert on your stream if you're actively streaming when somebody makes a purchase. Okay. And again, same thing. You can set up, the sounds, images, all that stuff based off of your own desire choices. Okay. And again, down here, font settings and the variations for, what somebody might have purchased or whatnot. If somebody bought a shirt, you can put an image of a shirt. Somebody bought a hoodie, sweatshirt, whatever, put an image of a sweatshirt. If you have a hat or a mug or, whatever you have for your store, you can do all those variations. Again, make sure you save your settings when you're done. And moving on, CloudBot redemption. Okay. So CloudBot is it's a widget that you can use, for somebody to redeem something. Okay. So in your chat, somebody would put, say, it would be ! redeem in lower caps, space, and then whatever you have set for them to be able to redeem. And we will be covering those here momentarily once we get to CloudBot. You can have a whole list of different things. So like for me, I have redeem fart. Okay. For the message template, it will say the name of the person, redeemed fart. Now, it's not going to be a voice to text, speech to text to speech. It's just going to come up below, and I'll show you when I do the test once we get into the desktop. But when that happens, somebody redeems the fart. The GIF will come up with the sound file that goes along with it, and that will pull up inside the alert box on the screen. Now, the difference with this compared to the other alerts is these are done by the people in your chat, whereas donations and subscriptions are done when somebody makes that monetary donation or becomes a subscriber. So them hitting that subscribe button will cause a reaction of the donation message to populate. Okay. In this case with the CloudBot, it's using the exclamation point redeem. Okay. Now you can set to where those redeems are, utilize points or whatever you want to call them. And I will cover that here momentarily as well. That will be again under the CloudBot with the store/point system. Okay. So once you've got that, you can do save settings. Now you can create various redeems. Okay, so you can see right here, I have a whole list of redeems. Okay, so I have Redeem Panic, and I have Redeem GG. I have Hawks to support my Black Hawks, Redeem Fart and Fart 2, and I think I actually need to work on that one. I don't remember if that one is working or not. And then I have Redeem Giggity. When 69 is redeemed, Giggity will play a sound clip with a GIF of Quagmire from Family Guy. And then last one I have is shout out. So when somebody wants me to give them a shout out, they will hit redeem, exclamation point redeem, and then space, and then shout out, and it will say, whoever wants a shout out. So I would then give them a shout out on live on air. Okay. And you can add more than that, or you can add just a couple. It's up to you. And then again, just save your settings. Okay. And we'll come back to this again for the testing once I have the desktop up. Next up, we're just going to move over to widgets really quick. So you can browse the various widgets that you have available to you through Streamlabs. I'm not going to fully go into this right now. We will cover some of these again more in detail once we get into the desktop. But just to show you here, you do have the ability to do stuff here as you do in Streamlabs desktop. Sometimes working things over on the online side is a little bit easier to navigate in order to get it how you want it, vice the desktop side. All right, I'm going to cover tipping briefly, and then we'll come back to it again. So in Streamlabs is separate from YouTube. Okay, YouTube, you cannot get monetized until you reach a certain subscription level and a certain hours of viewable time of your videos. Okay, so it's 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers to be able to monetize your channel on YouTube. However, through Streamlabs, you are able to accept tips. Okay, you can post links in your chat that populate. You can post a link in your video description in YouTube, which will have your tip page. Okay, so right here at the top corner, you can see it says your tip page. This is the link to my tip page. So I can post that on a timer, which again, we will cover here momentarily. So that'll populate in the chat. But I can also put it in my video description, whether it's a live video or an uploaded video. I can just copy that link and paste that into my channel or whatnot. And people can click on that and they can send a tip from that page to me. Okay. Now, in order to do that, you are required to have at least a PayPal, or you can connect a credit card. Okay. A lot of Streamlabs specifically does recommend having a PayPal Plus. It's more like a PayPal business account. And that kind of goes more in depth into like the taxes and stuff. So if you have a high number of subscribers and you get tips regularly, or, fairly often, and you get large tips, large donations, having that kind of allows you to be able to keep better track of your donations when it comes time to tax time. Okay. Definitely don't want to have to owe the man, more than what you need to. Okay. But if you're just starting out and you're only getting, $5 here, $10 there, you're not going to hit that cap to where you're going to have to owe. But you do still need to file it on taxes. Okay, any income that you make needs to be put in on your taxes when you do them. So make sure you file those tax laws. Okay, I'm not a CPA. I'm not a tax person. So make sure you do review all those tax requirements when it comes to any type of monetization, whether it's through Streamlabs or YouTube. Okay. Also, just a really quick, when it comes to your monetization with YouTube, they do charge or kind of tax you like I think now it's up to like 40%. So YouTube will take 40% of whatever somebody pays you through like super chats and memberships. Okay. So just keep that in mind when you do end up getting monetized, or if you're already monetized. Just know YouTube does take 40% of anything that gets tipped through YouTube directly. Okay, if it's through Streamlabs, you do get a tax through like PayPal, and I believe they do like a service fee if you go through a credit card. You will not ever get the full amount of what somebody tips you, but you will get more of it through Streamlabs than you do through YouTube. Okay. All right. Up here, so you have four different little tabs up here. So we're on the tip methods right now. Tip page design. So you can go through and you can set up all this stuff. Okay. You can allow for, like, somebody wants to type in a message like, "Hey, great stream. Love watching your content." You can maximize or whatever, however much you want character-wise for the message to be. You can adjust that here. Okay. If you want it to be 200 max, 200 characters max, if you want it to be 300 characters max, that's up to you. You do also have the ability to change the currency if you're in a different country. You're not in the U.S. and you want whatever your nation's currency is, you can change that. Or if you want it to be in U.S. dollars, you can set it for U.S. dollars, however you want. Okay. You can have a suggested tip that was automatically in there. I never left or adjusted that. Minimum tip, again, same thing, and maximum tip. I accept tips, graciously. I never will ask for a tip for my videos or anything like that. All donations for my channel are greatly appreciated, and all of that money goes directly to the channel or variations of supporting the channel. So whether I require equipment to keep my channel going, or even stuff for giveaways, I purchase the stuff that I give away. So donations do help with covering some of that cost because it is out of pocket for me. So feel free to do the same thing. That's kind of how a lot of people work. All of their money goes to their channel. If they end up getting a lot of money, then I'm sure a lot of it goes into their pocket, and that's their way of making a living, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, all right, down here, tipping presets. So you can set it so that people can just kind of click on something quickly. If they want to do $5 there, they have the option to click $5 or $15 or $20. Okay, but they do also have the ability to type in another amount. If they want to give you a very large donation, they can do that simply by typing in the number, the dollar amount that they want. And it doesn't have to be an exact dollar amount. Okay. You can type in whatever crazy numbers you want. If you want to type in $123.45, you can do that. Okay. They are not restricted to, the maximum, or, any specific dollar level. Okay. You can have a tip memo, just to, like I have here, donations are never required, but always appreciated. Just a brief message to display on the tip page to kind of thank your people that are donating, your subscribers. Okay. So preferred lingo. All right. So tip, donation, or custom, you can change it. I have it as a donation. Tip for me just kind of sounds, I don't know. I don't like the sound of tip. Donation I like a lot more, because people are donating their hard-earned money to me, to my channel. So I feel that a donation is a better warranted term. Okay. For the tip leaderboard, you can set up a tip leaderboard if you want to, and it just shows the tip amounts. So your leaderboard will basically just show all of your tip amounts, and whoever has that highest, they will be at the top of the leaderboard. Simple enough. And then media share, you can modify that through settings. You can turn that on and off. I have no reason to mess with that, so I just leave that off. You do also have the ability to just kind of go with a basic design, like a legacy layout, or you can kind of create your own using a file or anything like that. So you can kind of just make it your own. Okay, so you have the ability to do that there under the design. And again, make sure anytime you make changes, always make sure you hit save. Okay. All right. Tip history. So this just goes to show everybody that has sent me a donation. And, if they left a message, there is, the message that they left, and, it shows who it was, their gamer tag. Now with Streamlabs, you do not have to use your gamer tag as who's sending it. You can type whatever you want in there. You can remain anonymous and leave it empty. It is optional. So there is that. Okay. And yeah, you have kind of a sub tabs up here, monthly tippers, cheers, super chats. I don't have any super chats. I'm not monetized. And I don't have my top tippers, band tippers, members. I don't have any of that. So this will all come later on. Okay. Nothing to really worry about right at the moment. Okay, and then tip settings. So there's variations of tips. You can do have people donate to a charity if you would like, and you can set that up over here on the side right there with charity. I'm not going to cover that too much. That will be in a later video. You can also restrict kind of like the profanity aspect of what people use. You can make sure that people aren't putting bad words into your tip messages. Okay. So you can restrict that. It'll automatically kind of filter out any profanity. Or you can add in your own preferred, bad words that you don't like. A lot of people don't like the word moist. Okay. You can put moist in there if that's a word that you don't want to have, aired on your live stream. Okay. And yeah, allow tip effects. Okay. So, for that, that's pretty much already set for you. You don't really need to mess with that much. And that is it for tipping. Okay. Next up, we did cover this in the last video, the themes and overlays. All right. We'll get a little bit more into it. We kind of already just discussed it in the previous video. Not really. I guess there's not really any reason to fully go back into it again. Just know that there are two different types of overlays. Okay. There's the ultra overlays, and then there are just the regular free overlays that you are free to download with the free version of Streamlabs. Okay. I am an ultra member, so I do have access to all of the overlays that are here on Streamlabs. So if you are online, on the online version of Streamlabs or your dashboard, you do have the ability to still install, and it will link it to your Streamlabs desktop and be available to you. Okay. So you have, just the various options of how you want to find an overlay. Okay. We have the collections over here, and you can kind of scroll through all these if you have a specific one that you want to look for. If you don't know what to look for or what's available, but you don't want to look through every page. I think there's like 70 something plus pages of, of overlays. So you can check the collections and just kind of see, what the different variations that they have available are. Or again, you have the ability to search. You can type free and it should pull up all the free ones. And make sure you don't move or select a game category. You can't unselect it. So if I just were to type free here, it's going to pull up all of the free overlays that you have available to you for the free version of Streamlabs. Okay. Now notice not all of them are gaming. Some of them are, charity, various packages. Maybe you're just having kind of like a vlog, and you don't need something that's game worthy, right? You have a bunch of different ones here that are not strictly related to gaming. Okay. Okay. So we are going to head back. I can close that. All right. Next up, let's see. We are going to get into CloudBot. Okay. This is what a majority of people have been asking about, is how to set this up. Okay. This is probably most of the issue that people have or are confused about how to set up when it comes to doing their streams. Okay. Now you have all these right here, which we will cover. First and foremost, anytime you want to use your CloudBot, you need to make sure that it is turned on. Keep in mind, it is always a good idea to come into your dashboard and make sure that it is on. I have had it shut off on me automatically. Not me touching it or anything. I do a stream, everything's working. The next stream that I do, somebody does subscribes, and then they're like, hey, it didn't say that I subscribed. And then sure enough, I come into Streamlabs dashboard and my CloudBot is off. Why? I have no idea. Some sort of bug, something that does it automatically. I don't know. Okay. So make sure you regularly check that your CloudBot switch is turned on. Okay. Second thing, in order for your CloudBot to work, you need to make sure you read this right here. This is very important, okay? Otherwise, you will not have Streamlabs as a moderator in your stream, in your chat, and you will not be able to, or your subscribers and members and so on will not be able to interact with the chat how you want them to be, okay? So super simple, and I'll go ahead and show you this real quick. So don't forget to mod Streamlabs by going to your YouTube Studio settings, community, and adding Streamlabs as a moderator. Okay, so how do we get to our settings for that in YouTube? So here is my dashboard, okay? Now, in your dashboard, it said you needed to go to settings, and we need to go to community. And right here, okay, managing moderators. I have two in here. This was the initial one, and Streamlabs did an update. So I added both of them just to make sure that it was working properly, okay? Because I did have a period of time where my chatbot was turned on, or my CloudBot was turned on, but it wasn't working. And I'm assuming it was because I did not have the updated moderator posted in there for Streamlabs, okay? Super simple. That is it. Okay. And I'm not going to get into anything else with YouTube because this is a Streamlabs video. So I'm not going to cover anything else for right now. But I will have other videos posted in the future that goes more in depth with the YouTube side of things. Okay. But as long as you have your Streamlabs in here as a moderator, your CloudBot should work. Okay. So that'll be one thing that you'd want to troubleshoot in the event that your CloudBot is not working. Obviously, first would be making sure that it's switched on in Streamlabs desktop, or I'm sorry, Streamlabs dashboard online, and also making sure that your managing moderators are listed as Streamlabs, okay? And so when you put that in there, make sure you hit save, and you can close that out, and we will head back over here. All right, so we're just going to go down the line, all right? So we've got that taken care of. Mod tools, all right? This is basically just kind of some of your basic settings. So caps protection, self-explanatory, right? That you have that switched on. That's going to make sure that people aren't, spamming your chat with all caps messages. Okay. Now that having that on, you can go into your preferences. Like you can have some, some people might type caps like BRB. It's not going to prevent them from doing that. It's the people that want to have like an entire, 255 character message that's all caps. All right. That is what that is going to prevent. Symbol protection, again, pretty self-explanatory. It just restricts the viewers from spamming messages with too many various symbols, your specialized characters, your caret, your hashtag, $, %, so on and so forth, okay? All right, link protection allows you to only send links to a chat from websites on the whitelist. So you can select if you have that switched on, which I do, your moderators are able to go in and set links to other websites, what have you, that you permit. Okay. And you would be able to put those in here in the preferences. You can do a specific whitelist. Okay. I don't have any generally though. So these are your settings. It's going to prevent people from posting links in the chat without your permission. So this comes up automatically. You do not have to type this out. Okay. But this is basically the warning that they will get if somebody posts a link to something, whether it's their own channel or, whatever they post to. It's unwanted by you unless they've asked you first and you allow it. Okay. So it's going to just give them the username and, please refrain from posting links. That's their warning. You can change this right here. You can change that text to say whatever you want. Like, you want to be me. Hey, asshole, quit posting links. Like I don't want that. Or you could be nice and just be like, hey, please refrain from doing this. It's rude. It's whatever. Okay. You can change that. Just make sure that you keep everything else the way that it is. Okay. If you do change any of that, you can save your settings. Really quick too. You do have, regulars, members, or none. It's an auto permit for posting links. So, maybe you trust your members, people that are paid to be, a part of your channel. You can set it to where it's the members that are able to post links. And your moderators, if you have moderators set in your YouTube, you can have them manage the links that are posted. If they're on the whitelist, they will automatically be allowed through. If they're not on the whitelist, they can either choose to leave them or delete them if they are not wanted. Okay. And then you have a permit duration. So that's just how long that the link is going to stay posted in your chat. Okay. Now, again, if they are punished for having posted a link in your chat that you don't want, that link will be purged, and then you can also set a timeout for that person from being able to do anything in your chat. Okay. And then the blacklist, obviously you can add the links. So this is just to add the link specifically for anything that you don't want. If you have specific websites that you don't want posted in your chat, you can add those links specifically here. And that same goes for the whitelist. Okay. All right, moving on. Word protection. So this is basically like a word filter, so people aren't using cuss words and stuff in your chat. Maybe you're okay with somebody saying like shit or ass. You can put those words in there on your whitelist. But if you don't want somebody saying the F word, that's you can put that in there on a blacklist, so that will be blocked from somebody being able to put that in there, and they will get a little nastygram from Streamlabs saying, hey, we don't use profanity in here. Please choose a different word or whatever you want it to say. Okay. Preferences, it's basically the same thing with this. You can reword kind of the punishment for that, whether or not, you want to be mean or you want to be nice and just say, hey, please don't use these words. Okay. Next up, paragraph protection. That's, again, self-explanatory, keeps people from basically typing out a freaking story in your chat, right? You can limit it to however many characters you want. Maybe you only want like 200 characters. It's a pretty decent message. If they need to, they can finish it up at, break it off and then continue it. That's fine. That's how they can get around that. But outside of that, it'll keep them from typing a whole story and spamming your chat with unnecessary stories. Okay. And then emote protection, again, removes people from doing an excessive amount of emotes. I don't have that on. I don't mind the emotes. I've never had anybody come in and super spam my chat with a ton of different emojis and stuff. And in that case too, I have some that I'm like, I'm fine. Go ahead and do all those. So I've never worried about it. If it does become an issue, I just come in and turn it on, and I can have certain ones that I allow in and certain ones that I don't want in. Okay. All right. So next up, we have name. So for this, basically, you don't really need to have anything in here unless you want to have, like here I have Twitch. So I have a chat bot for Twitch. I haven't had any of my streams go to Twitch, but I will be doing some multi-streams starting soon to where my streams on YouTube will also be available on Twitch for those that do not have YouTube. And that also just kind of helps build your following too. And that's available for Facebook and whatever other social media that you want to live stream to. Okay. So with this, don't really worry about this too much unless you do have multiple platforms that you want to stream to. Okay, modules. So these are already preset in here, okay? Just like with the mod tools. Chat alerts, so get notified whenever an activity happens, like a donation or a subscription. So that needs to be on, so you can get that alert to go, it will go into your chat. So your CloudBot, your CloudBot redemption and your alert box is separate. That image will come up. This does not affect that, okay? What this affects is when it pops in the chat, Streamlabs will come up and say, hey, so-and-so donated, blah, 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 whatever amount. Okay. That's what that is. And you can adjust the preferences in here for whichever ones you want. So donation, charity, subscription, super chat, membership, you can turn those on and off as you wish. Okay. And again, you can do the same thing for Twitch. So YouTube and Twitch are the two main ones here. All right. That you can deal with that with. Okay. All right. Next up, heist minigame. I don't have mine turned on, but you can turn that on. You can read through and see what, if that's a game that you want to play. It's interactive for your subscribers and your members and stuff, people watching your live streams, so they can play a little game and have a little fun in your chat while you're doing the live stream, and it doesn't interact or affect any part of your stream itself. Okay. Next up, gamble. I do have that one in mind. That's another little fun game. People can gamble points that they get through your stream, and we'll get into that later on down the road here. Once we get into, I believe it's loyalty. I believe it's loyalty where you get people get points. So we will cover that here shortly. Next up, we have the media share. Allows your viewers to interact with your media share widget. I do not have that turned on. I have actually not experienced, not interacted with that at all to experience what that does. Just by looking at it, it looks like it's somebody just requesting for a media share to populate within the chat, probably similar to like having a link. So you can mess around with that, test it out. If you don't like it, turn it off. If you don't want to deal with it, just leave it turned off and you'll be all right. Now, keep in mind, if you have any of these things turned on, but people don't know that you have them turned on, they're not going to interact with them, so you're not really going to have to worry about it. But they do, I'm pretty sure they all show up off when you initially get into your CloudBot and go in and adjust stuff as you wish, okay? 8-ball game, kind of self-explanatory. You can ask questions, say exclamation point 8-ball, and then type your question, and you'll get an answer, okay? Kind of like having an 8-ball back in the old days. Next up, slots. I do have slots minigame. You can go in there. I'll do a quick preview on this one real quick. So you can have a minimum amount to bet. Basically, it's kind of similar to the gamble, except for there's going to be, they'll get little icons, emojis, kind of like they're gambling with a slot machine. Okay, maximum amount you have set. So this is the 10,000 is the maximum amount that Streamlabs will allow. Keep in mind, this is not real money, not real currency. It's all points or whatever you want to call them in your stream, in your bot. You can set that to 5,000 if you want, or you can set it to whatever you want. 10,000 is the max, okay? So just make sure you hit save when you're done. And then here you have the emotes. So I have 3, okay? So I have the peach, the cherry, and the pineapple. So basically when somebody does the, exclamation point slots, and then space, and then whatever amount of points that they want to gamble with, Streamlabs will come back and say, okay, you got 2 peaches and a cherry, you win this much, okay? So that's what that's going to do, and that's how they'll get the reaction from that in the chat. Combos, you can go in and set up combos how you want. You can give them a multiplier based off of what you want. So you can see I went through and created a bunch of different ones here, and this is just with 3, okay? So just imagine, I tried to basically get kind of a one of everything. So going down the line, all three, and then 2 out of the 3 with 1, 2 out of the 3 with 2, so on and so forth down the line, okay? And then it's reversed. Just like what you would get, the results you would get out of an actual slot machine. Okay, you can add those how you want to. You can change the emote. You can use whatever you want. Okay, your emotes, as long as the emotes are in, like in YouTube or in Streamlabs, basically the same ones you have access to on your phone. You can use them in here. Okay, so that is your slots minigame. And then duel. I don't have duel. Basically, again, self-explanatory. Says right here, allows viewers to duel with each other in game or in chat for each other's points. Okay, it's all AI generated. Somebody wins, they win. It's nothing you can do about it. It's just a fun little game. Okay, pyramid. Congratulate viewers that can build an emote pyramid in your chat. I don't have that turned on. I haven't really seen that, I don't think, in anybody's chat, but that might be something I might try in the future to see how people react to it, if they enjoy it. Again, this is all just stuff for your subscribers, your followers, viewers, etc., to engage into the chat and engage in your channel. Okay. And the emote combo allows viewers to trigger a combo by typing in a specific emote. Okay, I do not have this set up, but mess around with it, check it out. These are some basic ones that are already preset in here. I have not added these, so I'm not sure what these combos are, what it reflects to in the chat, but I don't have mine set up. And again, I can set this, I can turn it on and see what happens, and then if I like it, turn it off, For like it, keep it turned on. Okay. So once that is all set, we are good with that. Okay, commands. So this is what a lot of people see in a lot of the chats. If you, most of the people that are following me follow Jeffrey Gamer, you follow Criminal Justice, you get a lot of the different auto commands that populate in the chat. Okay. So these are, these are, I'm thinking of the timers. These are the commands that you will see people type like an exclamation mark. And for me, SLRP. And this will bring up just a response. Somebody types in the command exclamation SLRP. This statement is going to come up. Are you 16 or older? Do you want to join a 5M server? Yada, yada, yada. Come check out Silverlining Roleplay. And then I have the link in there for our main page to apply to our whitelisted server. Okay. So people in your chat are like, oh, hey, that's what server are you on? Or what is that? I want to join that. Somebody else that's in the chat that knows, they can hit exclamation point SLRP, and then this will populate automatically from Streamlabs. Okay. Giving them all the information. Okay. Some people want to know, hey, what kind of system you got going on? What are your specs? Okay. Right here, command exclamation PC specs. Somebody types that in, or I type that in, or I can say, hey, type in exclamation PC specs, and that will pull up what I have, what my system is looking like. I use this one for these two, and the code 3 I use specifically for when I'm in SLRP. If you're familiar with GTA 5, you know that you need to eat and drink water to stay alive, right? So nothing's different with 5M. And then also driving. Anytime we're driving, I'm a fire engineer in SLRP, and so anytime we are in our rig, whether it's engine, tanker, ladder, ambulance, what have you, we are required to wear our seatbelt. Okay, it's the law. So if I forget to put my seatbelt on, somebody can type, exclamation seatbelt, and this message will pop up in the chat, and I'll see that, and oh yeah, hey, thanks, appreciate it, forgot to put my seatbelt on. Here I have dono hype, exclamation dono hype, and then this will pop up, and people can put that in there when somebody gives a donation, and then they hype the donation just by typing that. This will pop up, and you can set it to like an unlimited number. You get a bunch of people in there, there's going to be like dono hype, dono hype, dono hype. All that's going to come up, and it's just celebrating the person that donated money to you. Dance party. So at the end of the stream, I have some music going, before the stream actually ends. Just kind of saying goodbye to everybody, and got some like dance music on there. People will just type exclamation mark dance party, and then this will pop up, and everybody just kind of gets into it. Okay. Exclamation B day. Anybody that has a birthday, and it's a day of a live stream, I will go ahead and, let people know, hey, if it's your birthday, type this out. Let me know it's your birthday, and you'll get a happy birthday to yourself when it's your birthday. And then code 3. So I have the code 3 here. This will populate in the chat. Just like, hey, I'm responding to a code 3 call, and I'm not going to be paying attention to the chat. I will try to look and see, but if I miss, what you're saying, I apologize. I'll come back to it, but I have to focus on what I'm doing in the game and not the chat. All right. So a lot of that's pretty self-explanatory. You can add more commands. You can add pretty much whatever you want, and just make sure you type out a good response. Okay. You do have the ability to charge, points or, whatever you want to call your monetary system for interactivity with your chat. For these, it's all set to 0. Once we get further down the line, I do have my redeems that cost points, or in my case, cash is what I have it set to. All right, so this is the custom. You do also have a whole list of defaults. Okay, so if you are doing a raffle or a giveaway, you just tell people, hey, type in exclamation point raffle, and they will join, that giveaway or that raffle. Okay, and you just have other chat commands that you can use in chat, which will start or stop or whatever function. So like, yeah, for me here, I have for loyalty, mine is exclamation point cash. Somebody types that in the chat. Streamlabs will pop back and show them the amount of that currency, the Squint cash that they have. Okay. Keep in mind your cash, your points, you can set to however much you want somebody to earn based off of how long that they're in your chat or in your watching your stream. You can also set a certain amount based off of the number of monetary donation that somebody gives. So if somebody gives you $20, maybe they get 2,000 points. $50, 5,000 points, or whatever you want to set it to. You could whatever your heart desires. In the chat, you can add points to somebody. Say you just randomly ask a question like, "Hey, who knows the capital of Georgia?" And the first person to respond, you're going to get 50,000 points, or 20,000 points, or whatever. So then, right there in the chat, I am able to go in and just say add points. My moderators also have the ability to add those points or remove points for somebody if they got something wrong, and you're streaming that. Hey, you can either gain points or lose points. You have the ability to do that. Sometimes people don't really use this a lot. Like myself or the person that's streaming will go in and actually into like Streamlabs online, the dashboard, and give points or take points or whatnot. These aren't fully used, but like I said, the cash and the raffle, I do use those. And let's see, I have used the add points. So yeah, you just have a whole list here. I have the slots one as well, and the gamble, and then yes, also the redeem. Okay, so those are the main ones that I use. You can go through and use whichever ones you want. Just make sure that if you do want to use them, that they are turned on so that Streamlabs recognizes them in the chat. Okay, variables. So you can adjust these as you wish. I'm not really going to get too much into the weeds on these. They're all pretty, self-explanatory. So yeah, I don't want to fully confuse everybody. This is a little bit more advanced for advanced users, knowing how to go in and adjust those. So I'm not going to really cover this aspect of it. And then you have a cooldown, the settings. So you have a cooldown for certain messages or certain redeem things that you can set. This is where you're going to do it. Again, if you do adjust anything, make sure you just hit save settings. Okay. All right, moving on. Timers. Now, these are the ones that I was saying earlier that I was misspeaking about. These are the ones that are on automatic timer, basically. They populate in the chat. And you can set what the interval is, how often they populate, okay? So I have all of them actually set to the same. I do need to go through and just kind of separate them out a little bit so that they're not kind of over spamming the chat. So you have your interval. Your interval is 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever, however long time-wise. That interval is going to be based off of minutes, okay? Your line minimum. That basically means that in order for this to populate, you have to have an interval of 5 minutes and a line minimum, or an entry minimum, if you will, of 5. So 5 minutes, if you've passed 5 minutes, but you've only had 4 people comment in your chat, or 1 person comment 4 times in your chat, this is not going to populate. But once that 5th comment is entered into your chat, then you will see this populate. You'll see all these other ones start to populate. Okay. And so you can make it however you want, whatever you want to do. For me, I have my donation, and it basically just gives my Streamlabs tipping website or link in here. I have the join SLRP, which will populate, just kind of keeps scrolling through so people can see, oh, hey, SLRP, this is what he's, the server he's on, and they can get the information to do that. And that just kind of also supports the exclamation point SLRP that somebody can trigger on their own when somebody asks the question. Commands, I have this reel that pops through, and it just basically goes through and shows what the different commands are that people can use in the chat in order to react or interact. The redeem commands, so I have that listed to show basically how people can redeem the different GIFs and sounds and stuff that I have. All right. So Squint Cash, if you want to know how much, you just type in cash. This just tells you, hey, this is how you find out how much cash you have. Okay. I have one for military. It populates through and just gives a shout out to all of our military, active duty, reserve, retired veterans, and just thanking them all for their service. Okay. And the same thing for first responders, does the same thing. And then I have one for my merch store, which provides the link for my Teespring store. And also I need to actually go in and update that for my Streamlabs store too. Oh, no, I have that one right here, right there at the bottom. So I have 2 different ones for that. Okay. Pretty self-explanatory. If you have questions with this, feel free to, put a comment down below. If you're curious about what to put in, you can, follow along with what I have. I have no problem with you copying what I use, or you create your own. If you're on if you're on a different 5M server and you want to promote that 5M server, feel free to do so. All right. You have a lot of different options with this. Okay. And simply, if you just want to adjust anything, all you got to do is just come over and click on the little pencil here, and it will allow you to open it up and adjust whatever you want. Maybe you realize, oh, I have a typing error or something. I want to fix it. Easy enough to do. Okay. And then right here, just add timer, and it will add it for you, and you can set the settings however you need to. Quotes. I don't have anything. You can add quotes if you choose to do so, and they will populate. Again, it's similar to with the timers. You can simply just add a quote and just follow that there, confirm, and it'll save. Okay. The queue, I don't have the queue set up. I've never used the queue. This is more or less for people to access variations of your Streamlabs. Okay. I don't specifically know how it works because I have not used it. I've not looked into it. But as far as I know, it doesn't really require anything from me. It doesn't pertain to anything with my channel, at least at the moment. Maybe later on it will. Okay, loyalty. So this is your point-based list of all the people that you have subscribed. Okay, so I have currently 88 subscribers. And I can scroll through and see all of my subscribers, and it will show how many hours they have been in any of my videos or my chats, my live streams, and how many points that they have gained during, through that watch time or donations, what have you. Okay. And this is also where you can go to add points to your viewers. Okay. So you simply click on here and you can type in an amount up to 10,000. Okay, 10,000 is the max that you can give through here, and it will add 10,000 points to all of your viewers. Okay, and that is pretty much that. So, okay, here is the settings portion. So your loyalty system, you have to have that turned on. Okay, the loyalty name that I gave mine is Squint Cash. Okay, points per interval. So for every minute that somebody is in watching a live stream in the chat, they will get 5 Squint Cash. Okay. So I think. Oh, sorry, that's the interval. So they get a payout of 100 every 5 minutes that they're in the chat. Okay, that's where I messed that up. Okay, so recap. So the interval is set to 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes that a user is in the chat or in the channel watching the video, they will get 100 Squint Cash or Squint points. Okay. But they do, here it says YouTube payouts are based on viewers' chat activity. If they do not chat, they will not earn points. So they need to be active in the chat to get those points. Okay. All right. An event payout. So when somebody subscribes to the channel, they will get 5,000 Squint Cash. And eventually when I have memberships, any member will get 10,000 Squint Cash. Okay. And then donations, I have set automatically 10,000 for per donation and 10,000 for super chats. Okay, I don't have super chats yet because my channel is not monetized. So if they donate through Streamlabs, they will get that 10,000 points. Okay. And again, keep in mind you can name this whatever you want. If you just want to have it points, or you want to have it linked somehow to your channel name, you can name it whatever you want. Okay. Again, if you adjust anything, make sure you save settings, and we'll move on to store. Now, keep in mind, this is not your merch store. Okay, this is your loyalty store. So this is where you do all of your redemption stuff. When somebody, reacts with exclamation, redeem, space, and then whatever, they will get charged points, and the points that are charged, or the cash, whatever that they're charged, is based on you, what you want. So for me, I have like the fart. So when somebody redeems this, they're going to spend 100 of their points or their Squint cash. For panic, when somebody redeems panic, it will be 1,000 points or 1,000 Squint cash. Okay. And I do have these two right here, which I don't have monetized or, for points. Somebody can redeem those and they will not get charged at all. Okay. My fart 2, again, same as here. I have 100 points, and then Giggity, 100 points. And for a shout out, I charge 2,500 points to do a shout out. Okay. So pretty simple there. And then you just have your history tab. You can see who all redeemed what. Self-explanatory. And then my redemptions. These were tests going through, making sure everything worked out. Okay. And you are able to go through and create as many as you want to. You can have, numerous ones, and set them how you want. GIFs, still images, whatever. Okay. And so in order to, I'll show you how to create that. So you have the ability for stream perk, sound effect, and access code. You give it a title, describe it, what you want it to cost, and just leave it at 1. You can set a global cooldown so that once that redemption is completed, everybody is kind of affected by that, meaning they all have to wait. Like somebody can't just come right in after that other person and redeem panic, right after. You can set that global cooldown to where they have to wait just as long as the user does, or you can have it set to where, if you want somebody to come in and they want to redeem panic right after somebody else did, 0 seconds is, they have that ability to do so, but the user itself is cooled down at 60 seconds. Okay. And then once you have all that in there, you go here and you can add the thumbnail image. So again, you can pick the GIF, and pick your sound file, and it will be redeemed in the chat. So you basically would just type this, so redeem, and then command. Within the command, you will put what you want it to be. So say I want to do redeem, I don't know, what would be say redeem, make it rain. Okay, so we'll do redeem, follow just like it shows right below it. Okay, and then we're going to do the space. Oh, no, we don't need to do the space. It's not spaced. Okay, and then say make it rain. And then close bracket right there. Okay, so that is the command. So it's showing you right here at the bottom. You need to type this in for the command, and then what you want the command to be. You'll replace command with whatever you're choosing to name your redemption. Okay, so I'm want to have somebody redeem make it rain, and the image attached to that make it rain command would be, maybe money flying in the air, something along those lines. Okay, and then after that you would hit next. If I hit next, I don't have anything linked. It's going to give me an error. But basically, it's going to load it up, and it'll save here on your desktop, okay, or on your dashboard, and you'll see it populate with the logo and whatever description you gave for it, the points, and then the command, what somebody would do, the redeem. So this top here is the command that you've given it, okay. All right, and that should be it for that. So this is one of the main things that people have an issue with getting set up, or they have questions on how to get it set up because they want to do funny stuff like this during their stream. So this is how you do it, okay? It's not difficult at all. Super easy to do. It's time consuming, especially when you're trying to find something that you want to have somebody redeem. Something that's funny, you want to find a good sound, a good video, match the two together because they are not, originally the same thing. where you can separate the sound from the video. But once you get the hang of it, it's easy enough to do. Okay. All right, moving on. Polls. So you can set up a poll in here if you have you want to take a poll. What does everybody think my next stream should be? Should it be PGA Tour? Should it be, Call of Duty? Should it be Farming Simulator? You can set up a poll, okay? And that's pretty self-explanatory. You get in there, you fill out the information. Which starter should I use? Okay, options, command, and pretty simple, okay? You do have the advanced tab, so you can use a timer. A duration for how long the poll is available. If you want it to be available for, like 5 minutes, or if you want it to be available for 2 minutes, or if you want it to be available for an hour. Okay, this is based off of seconds. Okay, not minutes. So make sure that you calculate out the number of seconds that you would need for it to be whatever minute value that you want. Okay. And then you have the option to send chat notifications so you can notify a viewer that their vote has been registered in the chat. Simple enough. Okay. So when somebody, and that'll also be the same thing with the giveaway too. So when somebody types in !raffle, Streamlabs will come back and say, okay, your vote has been entered, or hey, you've been entered into this raffle, into this giveaway. Okay. Super simple. So a lot of the stuff in here is self-explanatory. It's just a matter of coming in and messing around with it and figuring it out. Okay. Betting, so you can do betting profile. I don't have that on mine. This also just uses your points, okay, or the cash that they get. It's not real money, okay? And then giveaways, again, if you want to add a giveaway. So recently I gave away a mug, an autographed mug from my store. I did the giveaway and, gave people a certain amount of time before I closed it. Before I closed the giveaway, so that allowed people to go in and react with, !raffle, and they get entered into it. And then once I stop the giveaway, or stop the timer, Streamlabs will automatically go through and pick a winner. Okay, I don't personally pick the winner. I think you do have the option to do so. But here you can choose whether it's custom or merch. So if it is merch, it'll link it to your merch store. In Streamlabs. If it's a custom thing, like say you want it to be like maybe a game from Steam, okay, you would want to choose the custom because it's not going to be in the merch, right? Self-explanatory, okay? And you do have the ability to watch the tutorial. All of these things in here have tutorials on how to set it up if you do have any questions outside of what I've covered, okay? The videos are good. They do help you. Sometimes you just need a little bit more in-depth about something, vice what just a tutorial has. It's a little bit more generalized. Okay. All right. So next up, we have user management. So these are people that I have that are my moderators because they are regularly in my chat, but I trust them to make sure that people are behaving in the chat. Okay. But they are also recognized because they are regular people that come into my chat. Okay, excuse me. Importer, I don't have anything for the importer. I'm not going to cover that right now. That gets a little bit more into the weeds for, again, more advanced users, okay? Just getting the basics set up, you don't have to worry about this. All right, really quick, I'm going to cover charities. So you do have the option to start a charity or register a charity. You do need to log in order to do so. I'm not really going to go into this much right now. You can go in on your own if you decide there's a charity you want to have people donate to. You can put the link in your chat under like a timer, and have that kind of replay so people can see that. But I'm not going to fully cover that. But you do have the option to do a charity through Streamlabs. I did a charity for the Wounded Warrior Project. Back in the beginning of November. However, that was an outside thing that I linked into my chat and into my YouTube page, not through Streamlabs specifically. Okay, so you do have the option to do that. But if you do want to do something through Streamlabs specifically, maybe have it link up a little bit easier for you, you do have that option. All right. Okay. App Store. So you have the ability for various types of things. for your content creation. Okay. I have not gone through all of these. A lot of this stuff does require you to have an Ultra membership. So keep that in mind. But, you do have like Streamlabs Music. So Streamlabs Music is free. And that basically just allows you to play royalty-free music during your streams. Pretzel Rocks is another music player. However, that does require a subscription to play music through that. And then you just have other tools and, so on and so forth. Overlays, sponsorships, et cetera, to add into your live streams, your videos and stuff like that. Just help grow your channel. Okay. Things like lower thirds, better goals. You can have a goal bar come across the top of your screen. Say you have a goal of getting, 100 subscribers in, a month's time. Okay. You can set that goal specifically, and I'll be covering a lot more of the widgets and stuff in a different video, such as the lower thirds and the better goals. I did use the better goals, back in October, September to October for a goal of subscribers during a certain period of time. Let's see what else. So yeah, things like just kind of linking certain things to like a hotkey. Better scenes. Yeah, there's various different things here that you can just add in to, again, just kind of enhance your stream, right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close out of there. Multi-stream, not really going to cover that right now. This just allows you to be able to basically multi-stream to 2 different platforms at a time, okay? So when you do want to run a multi-stream, you have to have a stream key, and you have to, both of these, your RTMP URL and your stream key, need to be copied over to your platform so that they do allow you to stream, okay? And there are tutorials on how to set that up specifically. So you do also have the ability to connect Trovo and Twitter. And I believe you have additional ones that you can go to. I'm not sure what all the other ones are. Maybe Instagram, if you do like an Instagram live. But for me, I have YouTube and Twitch, which I would need to start doing for Twitch. I have my Facebook account linked, but I have not been doing anything on Facebook except for just my page. Okay, so that is it for the desktop. We're going to go ahead and switch over to, for the dashboard. We're going to switch over to the desktop and cover some of that stuff there so that I can show you basically like how to test your alert box to make sure that it's working and how to get all that set up, okay? The stuff down here under brand, we will cover all this stuff in a separate video. I don't want to make this video too long. It's already over an hour. So we're going to hurry up and finish up with the desktop side of it and get this video wrapped up. All right, so let's move over to the desktop. So now we are over on our Streamlabs desktop, okay? I'm in an editor mode. And I have pulled up my scene collection that I use for PGA Tour, obviously. Okay. So we're going to start off basically just kind of going through. We already covered, how to set all this stuff up. And I'm going to hop into the intermission so that we can check out the alert box. Okay. So with the alert box, I do have my camera off. But here's kind of what I was talking about earlier. I had my Snowy logo GIF up in that corner of that box. I do not have my chat box over here. Everybody can see the chat in the chat on YouTube when I'm streaming, so not really any need for redundancy. But I do want to cover the alert box, and I also wanted to talk about the scroller because I said I would talk about that in the next video as well. But first, we'll cover the alert box. So here is my alert box, and I'm actually going to adjust that and move that over here because my head when I have my webcam on is usually right here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and expand that a little bit and just kind of set that right there. And I'm going to go ahead and relock it. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go over into my online, and I'm going to do some testing. All right. I can't do it over on this side, otherwise I won't see it when I have the test stuff up over on this side. But you can see, so you do have everything over here that you have basically in your online version. Okay, so you have your dashboard home, your CloudBot, your AlertBot settings, the widgets, tip settings, multi-stream, just basically all the stuff that you need. Some of the other stuff that's online, you don't have, like your emote maker and your logo maker, intro maker, so on and so forth. That's all stuff that you do online, okay? But the stuff that you should have access to, which you do, your CloudBot, your alert box settings, your tip settings, widgets, those are all important to have right here in your desktop, okay? So give me a moment. I'm going to run over to my CloudBot online, and I'm in my alert box, and I'm going to do a test donation, okay? So you'll see that populate up here in the screen.
That's really nice. Thank you.
And so you can see we did
Donation for $3.
okay, so that's what populates, and it's going to be on for 10 seconds because that's what I have it set to. Okay, easy enough. So when you go in and you do your stuff online on Streamlabs, on your dashboard, you can simply test and make sure that everything is how you want it. It's coming up how you want it. Your text is how you want it, the proper color, proper size, proper font, so on and so forth, right? Also making sure that the image actually comes up, or the GIF that you're using comes up, and that the sound plays correctly. So simply testing will help work out a lot of issues if you're having any with any of your alerts, okay? Next up, we'll do a test subscriber. So I have... So that's one of my welcome or subscription sounds that I have. Now, I did have a different image there, and I got to figure out why that's not connecting. So one of my other welcomes, I have a sound clip of Flo Rida's My House. So that plays occasionally too. It's on random. So somebody will get either the ding dong. The ding dong I actually set more for when I specifically to use when I'm doing my flight sim stuff, just to kind of keep it, more of that theme. Like, hey, I'm in the middle of a flight. Somebody subscribes while I'm doing a flight, and they get the ding dong. It matches, right? I do want to have, a couple other welcome sounds that I'm going to come up with and put into my alert box as well. That'll be in the future when I'm not busy creating videos and gaming and family life and school and all that other stuff. So this is very time consuming. So just know when you do this, like if you don't have the patience to do a lot of this stuff, Streamlabs is probably not going to be for you, because it does take a lot of time to get it all set up. But once it's set up, if you're good with it and you don't really want to do any changes, then it's fine. It's the initial setup that just takes time to get everything how you want it, okay? But once you have all your stuff set up in your online, your dashboard, your alert box stuff, it carries over. You don't have to redo it every time you create a new scene collection, okay? You just add it in, and it's there. So if I go to create a new scene collection, I add in my alert box, and all of my alerts will populate in my alert box, okay? Everything is already set up in my dashboard online. The alert box is the only thing I need to add, and everything will populate, okay? And that's why we go through and test it. Okay, I'm going to test member. It's the basic. I haven't adjusted it because I don't have any memberships. I'm not monetized, as I've already said. But that's what it would look like if I did have members prior to me changing it. That's the kind of the stock or the preloaded version of the reaction for the membership. There's a super chat. Again, it's a preset, logo, GIF, whatever, pop in, the text and all that stuff. I've not messed with that. Super chats, again, are part of the monetization of YouTube. Test merch. So I don't have an image set up for that. And I actually don't remember if I don't even think I have my merch stuff set up, because I just recently opened up my merch store on Streamlabs. So I have not gone and done that yet. But testing it, it does work. I just have to go in and adjust, things to my liking. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the test CloudBot redemption. So this is going to come up with the fart with Meg and Stewie, and you'll hear the sound clip, and it'll show who redeemed it, and it'll give like a John or the Squint Gaming, whatever. So I use that. It's a funny clip. Obviously, it's an adult thing. Only adults are really going to know what was meant by that GIF. Why Stewie freaked out. But testing that CloudBot redemption. So that was anything that's redeem that will show up for the test CloudBot. So whatever your first entered redeem CloudBot redemption under redeem, or your loyalty, your store, is going to be the one that comes up during a test. So like if I had, like you saw, I had the panic with Kermit the Frog. He was, arms flailing, freaking out. If that was the first one that I had uploaded, that would be the one that would test. Okay. If it was Quagmire with the Giggity, if that was my first one that I had uploaded, that would be the one that comes up in the test. Okay. So basically all you got to do is, you can do a test stream, like a bandwidth stream here in Streamlabs into YouTube, and you can pull up your YouTube, set it to private, so it's just you. Or you can do the bandwidth and get the, you pull up your chat, and then just go in and type in your commands in the chat, your redeem commands in the chat, and watch them populate. They'll populate on your Streamlabs here, and then a few seconds later, you'll see that video that you're, projecting. You'll see it react on your YouTube channel. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the alert box. Okay. I said the alert box will cover your CloudBot, all your CloudBot stuff, your donation, your subscriptions, member, super chat, merch, and your exclamation redeems. Okay. For the for your other chat stuff, that is only going to show up in the chat. Okay. So like all the stuff that we covered, your timer stuff, that's going to come up, the commands, what shows what people can type, that you just pretty much have to go through and have a live stream, and you'll see all that stuff come up. Hopefully you have enough people in your chat, or you can set it to where it comes up at a lot sooner, or maybe there's no line minimum, so you can have it to where it's 0 for the line minimum, and it just randomly, every 5 minutes or every 2 minutes or whatever comes up, and so you can check it that way. Set it to the minimal least amount of time that you can set it for, and then just let your broadband test just kind of go through and just watch all of your things populate in your chat, and then hey, they work, and then you can go back and adjust the time settings for each of those, or whatever settings you want, so that they're not spamming your chat while you're on your live stream. All right, and with that, that's pretty much it for everything to do with the alert box and your chat during your live streams. Really quick, I will go ahead and cover this right here, which is the scroller. So for me, because I am not monetized and I do not have members, I created a scroller to basically just support everybody that, their channels that are either in like Jeffrey Gamer's channels, or they're in SLRP. A majority of these people are in SLRP, and they have channels they live stream for when they do SLRP, whether they're civs, LEO, FD, COM, what have you. Majority of the people that are in the scroller are people that I look up to, and I've learned things from when it comes to streaming, and just kind of get a variation of how everybody streams, the things that they do, and you kind of pick and choose different things from different people. Okay, so that's basically what that is, and I'm going to go ahead and open up that right now. So what that is, in order to create that, you will go to your text. Okay, so let me cancel that out real quick. So you're going to go to your sources, add your source, and then go to text. Okay. Now you're going to see in here, it says text, text, and scroller. So I do have some other text in a couple of these other ones. That's why these populate. So it's basically asking if I want to add an existing source. Okay. I do want to create a new source. So I would just go to the bottom right here and click add a new source. And then I can rename it whatever I want to. So let's say I want to, we'll just call it scroller 2. All right. So then I'm going to go ahead and add the source. And it's going to just be like this black line. Okay, we'll adjust that, not to worry. All right, and actually let me pull this other one up real quick. So now in your text box, you, depending on what your font is, some of the fonts that are in here are all caps regardless, like you can't change that. Some of them you can change, like I have mine set specifically to all uppercase. Okay, you can have it be regular to where it's the first letter is capitalized, everything else is lowercase. So regardless of how you type it in here, I could type all this lowercase, and because I have this selected to uppercase, everything is going to be uppercase. All right. But you have all different variations of fonts available to you. You have a whole slew of them. And these are fonts that you have uploaded into your personal computer. So if you say you want to find a font, like maybe you're big into the GTA font, okay, that's called Price Down. You can go to defont.com. There's plenty of freeware font download places out there. Defont is one of them. And you could type in Price Down and install it into your computer, and it should populate here into Streamlabs. Okay, some of them may not. I've not had any issues with any not populate. Keep in mind now they are alphabetical, but at the same time you will see them alphabetical, and then you'll see them start over again at, you know, like this starts at M. I'm at the top of the list and it's starting at M, and then it jumps down to F and then back to M again. So there's my Price Down right there. So they're alphabetical, but at the same time they're not. So you just kind of have to scroll through. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Not really any way to change that, how they're laid out. So, but unless you know what you want, you can even type it in to see if you have it. That makes it a lot easier instead of having to scroll through everything. Okay. And you do also have the ability to utilize the Google fonts. Okay. I'm going to cancel that because I don't want that to change. All right, so we're going to scroll down here. So you can choose your background color, your text color. You can have it be vertical if you want. That's all up to you, however you want to do that. And then your alignment. So you have your center alignment, your bottom alignment. And that's basically how it is within that bar. Okay, and you can adjust the size of the bar. You can adjust the opacity. Super simple. Okay. All right. So we're going to click done. So we have our text. Now, how do we make it scroll? Right. There's within the text itself, within that text box, you can't make it scroll there. All right. Okay. So over here, we're going to right click on scroll to, and we're going to go to filters, and then we're going to go to edit filters. Okay. This is where we need to be to make it scroll. Okay. So now we do have a selection for visual presets, but we don't want any of those. Okay. We don't want that. We need to go to add filter, and we're simply going to go to filter type, and we're going to go down to scroll. Okay. And filter name is going to be scroll, and we're going to add that. Now, I don't have any text in here. I didn't type anything in yet because we were talking about the other scroller that I have. So I'm going to close this out because it's saved. Okay. And now if you want it to just be like a one-time thing to go across your screen, uncheck the loop. If you want it to continue to loop, you can just hit check the loop and it'll continue to scroll through just like this does on a constant while you're on this scene. You can adjust the vertical speed of it if you want it to be just like a normal, like this is just a normal steady. If you want it to go faster, you can increase it. If you want it to go slower, you can make it go slower. Okay. And then the same thing with the horizontal. All right. So with the vertical, it's actually up and down. The horizontal speed would be what you want in order to get this effect. Increase or decrease based on how fast or slow you want it to loop. Okay. And you can also do, if you want to limit the height and the width, you can check those and it'll allow you to set those based off of what you want. Okay. Now, keep in mind, you can also adjust, excuse me, you can adjust it just by clicking on it and adjusting the size of it. But you do have a ability to limit the size of it if you would like to. So right now you can see it's limited at 100 by 100, which is probably about what this one is right there. Okay, and then you can just extend it out so that it either goes all the way across your screen, or if you want it to, say, just be right here above your, above your head. Didn't want it to do that. So I'm going to leave it right there for right now. We're going to go ahead and open this up, and we're going to type in text. Type in, oops. Hello, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit done. Now I'm going to just leave it with the white and the black background, okay? I'm going to expand it just a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. Now you can see that it's got a total of 3 lines, okay? I don't want 3 lines of it, I just want 1. So why is it doing the 3 lines? I'm honestly not sure. We're going to figure that out. So we're going to do a center alignment, vertical alignment, and align to the left. And I'm going to hit, let's see, I'll change this to, we were talking about price down. Let's go to price down. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to go back into, I'm going to right click here. I'm going to go back into the filter, and I'm going to edit that filter. Okay, so I'm going to not limit the height. So limiting the height, apparently that is what was making it do the three lines. So we didn't want that. So now here we can expand it, and you will see that it will get a little bit bigger vertically by expanding it to the left, but not by much. Okay, it's pretty much kept its shape. All right, so now let's go back into edit, and right now we have a 0 speed. Okay, so and actually I said this wrong earlier, so this is not a 0 speed, this is, I think, maybe like a 25. So if I were to for the horizontal speed, if I were to bring this down, it's going to scroll backwards. Okay, let's check it out. So you can see, yeah, it's scrolling backwards. I'm at -46. Let's go to 30, and that's going to scroll in the right to left at a speed of 30. Okay, so it's not going as fast as the one down here. I might have that set to 35 or 40. All right, but you can mess around with it however you want it to be, but that's how you adjust it and how you make it scroll. Okay, so simple text box, create your text box, enter your text, adjust all your color settings, your background settings, and all that kind of stuff first, your text size, everything there. And then when you are done with that, you want to right click, go to filters, and you want to edit filters. Make sure you add the filter to scroll, and simple enough. Then you have your speed, and you want to loop it, and that's that. Now, one thing I will add in here real quick too is you notice that it goes, "Welcome to my live stream!" exclamation, and then it's butted right up to the hello. Super simple fix. Just double click on this, and we are going to hit the space a couple times, and that will give a space in between there and the next word. If I want to keep it with just the one space, I can do so, and it makes it look a little bit more realistic with just the one space. Okay, and that is that for that part. Okay, again, if you want to adjust your alignment, you can do so here. Change your background color, your text color, you can do that here. You can also do an eyedropper. Say the color that you want isn't listed, or you don't know the number for that specific color that you want. You can use your eyedropper and say, I want to have it be maybe like this kind of color right there. I can grab the eyedropper, and when that populates again, and we'll see what happens the next time. So say I want it to be that color. Okay, it's similar to this color, but it's not exact. So, but I want that color, the color of the Twitch. So I can just eyedrop that, and now that is that color. Okay, and then if you want to save it for later, you can copy the color code and maybe put it on a Word document or a notepad or something like that, so you have it for the future. Okay. All right. And that is it for setting all that stuff up. Please make sure you check back in the future. I will have another video for Streamlabs set up, ready to go. And we'll get a little bit deeper into some of the widgets, the apps like Better Goals and like the lower thirds, because you have the ability to create different lower thirds. Your lower thirds are your social media flashes like you see right here. Okay. We'll get a little bit into the weeds with that. It's a little bit longer to go through and figure out, not even figure out, but to create it how you want it. The different styles. There's all different types of styles that you want. There's lower thirds that you can download from other websites too, and we'll be covering some of those websites in another video, which we'll talk about the overlays, the lower thirds, intros, and all that kind of stuff. So definitely make sure you check those videos out. And I will be also having some videos that I'll be linking to some Adobe stuff. So Photoshop and After Effects, which are two of the main software programs, whatever, that I use for creating stuff for my content. All right. If you have any questions from this video, anything that I did not answer or something you need clarification on, make sure you comment down below. I will make sure to reach out to you with a response as best as I can. If I'm not able to answer your question, I will either research it or send you somewhere that I know you can find the answer you're looking for. Okay. Also, if there's something else you wanted me to go in detail on a little bit more, feel free to comment and we can maybe talk offline, or I can possibly come up with another video that goes more detail into that issue that you're having. All right. So until next time, everybody, I appreciate everybody coming out. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button. The more likes I get, the further this video will reach to help other people like yourselves when it comes to creating, developing, and setting up stuff like this, like Streamlabs, or anything with any of my Squintorial videos. Okay. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so you'll be alerted to any of my upcoming live streams and uploaded videos. All right. Until next time, everybody, Squint Gaming out.